Hello, it's my solo podcast.
No, it ain't. Interesting to him. I think episode 3. I forget.
I don't know. We're no longer going the conspiracy theory route. We're just gonna sit here and have a
be us.
conversation. So
Like we do on the norm.
Michelle Obama still has cock though. That's
Every episode. Dude, I've never seen a man that isn't gay so enamored by another person's penis. you you take that dick to the bank.
well, I'm not enamored by it. I'm enamored more that our president was gay and didn't tell anybody. Because, like, if you're gay and it's okay to just tell everybody, who cares?
Well, he was coming out like as against gay marriage and shit.
Right.
before.
How you going to do that while you're married to a dude?
He was like, marriage is for a man and a woman.
Dude, what do you think about that bridge thing?
I think the U.S. has shitty infrastructure, and panning out billions and billions of dollars to everywhere but here is...
Well, I mean, the infrastructure had nothing to do with a giant cargo ship smashing it.
Well, nah, for it to just, like, like fall completely instead of just, like, a part of it falling. Like, it fell down like a house of cards.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you take the middle out, then it's each side falls.
We still do have shitty infrastructure.
It's like if you got a table with 4 legs, and then you cut it down the middle, and now there's only 2 legs on each side, and it just falls.
Yeah. Did people die from that?
Yeah, I want to say like 8 people died or something. Let me see. How many people?
Died from that shitty bridge.
How many people died in Baltimore Bridge? 6 people are presumed dead.
Rip. Sorry, that's shitty, but I mean, imagine having to go into school and being like, my aunt died from that shitty bridge. That's why I'm not here today.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, though. Like, remember they were saying, like, Black Swan event thing on the news, and then, like, after
coming
this,
April 8th.
After this happened, they called it a Black Swan event, which is, like, kind of weird. Like,
How the fuck would that be a black swan event?
I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't really.
Does a
make
bridge
any
not
sense.
fall
Unless
every year?
that was because what a lot of people are speculating is that it was some kind of like cyber attack.
What? Like an EMP?
Because the ships and the airplanes we have basically run on like almost exclusively computers.
Yeah.
So if like somebody hacked into that computer, they could direct the course wherever. So if that did happen, like it was a cyber attack, somebody hacked into that computer of that cargo ship and then steered it directly into the bridge. That's like a foreign terrorist threat type thing.
I just don't see that as likely.
I mean,
It just to me seems like
it definitely seems
ship
possible,
just fucked
but
up.
I wouldn't. I don't know what the motive would be. Like, why
Right.
would you do that?
Why that one?
Right.
Baltimore?
But as far as the eclipse thing, I don't know. It's a sign.
They literally have like soft like emergency protocol like already running on it.
Well, when the Israelites were out in the desert, like outside of Egypt, God used an eclipse as a sign, and then, or actually, I don't know if they did on that situation, but there was a time in the Old Testament for sure where there was like a whole city that was kind of like Sodom and Gomorrah, like everybody was full of sin and all kinds like wickedness and all of that, and then like right before God was about to wipe them out, he gave them an eclipse as like a sign to repent and to like turn back from their sinful ways.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
And they didn't do that, and then they got wiped out. So like, I don't think the eclipse is going to be the date that we have judgment inflicted on us, but I do think that it's probably a sign that if we don't repent and if we don't turn back to God and become one nation under God again, then we're going to get wiped out.
Eclipses happen all the time.
They do, but this particular one goes through like multiple different towns called Nineveh, which is where that eclipse in the Bible happened. And then there's another one too. I forget what the other towns are. Let me just look it up. So I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ass.
I mean, I don't know if it's that though. I don't know. To me it seems like we're about to get hit with like a solar flare or like something similar to that. That's gonna like black everything out. Like I've heard a ton of people talk about it. I don't necessarily think this one might not be biblical.
Some not very well-read Christians are like predicting that it's going to be the rapture, but it's not going to happen.
Are you for real? Where have you seen that?
I've seen it all over like YouTube, and Mom sent me some TikToks and stuff about it, but like
Sent you more brain rot things.
I
Can
know
we talk about that?
Oh my goodness.
She thinks the Earth's flat from TikTok.
The Earth is flat because she saw
She's a
some
fucking
10-year-old
idiot.
little girl on TikTok explain.
A Greta Thunberg told her the
Yeah.
Earth's flat. It's squirrel brain, dude.
Greta Thunberg from DeVry Institute.
For real. I don't know.
Guys, the Earth is not flat. We have pictures of the Earth. We have been to space. We have things in space with cameras right now at this moment. The Earth is round. It is a sphere.
No shit. I mean, there's countless debunks on this. Like, I mean,
Yeah, there's way more important shit to put your focus on than the Earth being flat, which could be proven wrong in like 5
I like how
seconds.
she went to you as like an ally. She was like, "Wouldn't this?" She tried to even give you the bait. Like, wouldn't
she
this be
knows
the
I
biblical
have free
thing too?
thought, but she also knows I'm not an idiot. She had to have known I'm not going to believe that. Like, I do think for myself, but I'm not a complete dumbass.
I would just roast her. That's the thing. I probably get the least amount of TikToks because I berate her every time. I'm like, get your squirrel brain rot shit out of here. I don't want it. I don't need the Chinese infiltrating me like they've infiltrated you. I'm good.
Dude, TikTok.
I want to still be able to watch movies and read books
just
and be able to have conversations.
When I was at work the other day, I was listening to Rogan's podcast with somebody, and he had somebody on that was doing like a study on how social media is affecting the youth right now, and like he showed like a graph, and at like 2011 there was this massive spike in mental health issues, mostly among little girls, but in little boys too. But like,
You know why, right?
like 50% spike in depression, 30% spike in anxiety, and then after the pandemic, after 2020, it did another spike, and now it's like
Well,
even
that one's a
worse.
bit more understandable because you're trapping people inside
and
and
they
everything.
knew that was gonna
but the
happen.
thing that happens with social media from the rip is it fucks with people's mental health just in the sense of you're only seeing a person's highlights. Nobody's posting their fucking shitty times on fucking social media. You're only seeing the very best of their lives. So then you get
That's one aspect.
No, but then you get people comparing their best to their best, like their peers' best. They're like, well, I didn't get to go on this trip. It's girl brain shit. I mean, like, they see them travel, they see them go on cruises, those painted toenail pictures at the beach. Like, it's been that from the rip. It's all just, this is what I'm doing right now, and then a bunch of people being like, damn, I wish I was doing that right now. It's just
And that's
comparing
definitely
highlights.
part of it, and I do agree that you should never compare yourself to anybody else. There's a great chapter in Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, and one of the entire chapters in that book is dedicated to compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to anybody else. So like, as you get better, you look at, like, say you're training for jujitsu or something. It's like, yes, I got my ass kicked in practice today, but the me from today would kick the ass of 6 months ago me. So, like,
Right.
comparing to yourself that way is what you're supposed to do. And that's one aspect of it, is like they're comparing themselves to the highlights of other people. But the other aspect is they're not getting out and living their real life. Like,
Yeah.
when we were kids, we were outside every day. We had a community of other kids in our neighborhood that we got together, had social interaction with, got physical activity out of it, and like learned how to be independent. Whereas these kids, they're inside constantly, sitting on their phones. They're not having any face-to-face interaction with anybody, and it's causing like a massive spike in mental health issues.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I see it. I've seen it. I mean, that's been happening from even our generation, though, too. That's where it first started, all this shit. Like, kids staying inside, playing nothing but video games, sitting on their phones, sitting on their laptops.
We were the last couple of years of kids that actually had a childhood.
Yeah. Because I still remember the world before smartphones and everything.
I like the proposals this guy gave, too, though, because, yes, he identified the problem, but he also gave 4 solutions to it.
Such as?
I don't remember all 4, but I know one of them was school, like a no phone zone at school. So like
they're already trying that and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, and so far the anecdotal evidence is showing that the kids, like, they're liking that. Like they're taking those phone bans and they're not getting pissed off about it. They're getting excited about it because they're finding, like, in between their class periods, instead of them playing on their phone, they're actually going in the hallways and
knowing their peers,
talking with other kids. Yeah. And like, so far that's working. That's the first thing he said, was like a no phone zone in school. And then the second one was something along the lines of like the responsibility of the parents to give their kids more freedom. Like, go outside and go play without my supervision.
Without my dependence.
They have to have some kind of unsupervised activities that they do with other kids, where their parents aren't around sitting there monitoring everything that they say. So I thought that was a good one, too. What were the other two? Having age verification online, like where you have to completely verify that you are of age to be on that platform.
Right.
Some type of ID or something like that.
Like the Kanye idea?
Well, just proof of identification. So, like, when you turn 16 years old, you get your state ID or your driver's license, and you just send a picture of that. Like, if you were buying nicotine or alcohol online, it's kind of the same thing. It's like you just take a picture of your ID. That way, those kids can't access social media.
That would eliminate the bot problem too.
Yeah, it would eliminate the bot problem for sure. And then I don't remember the fourth one he said, but those 3 I think are all 3.
See, I don't know about the no phone zone, because I remember they tried that like right when we were about to graduate. Like my class, they tried that at our school, and then everybody rebelled. Everybody just got Apple Watches.
Oh, you wouldn't allow them any electronics.
See, yeah.
Because what they've been doing is making them either have like a phone cubby, like where it's numbered and you have to put your phone in there, or just like a phone bucket. Like they just come around and collect everybody's shit.
Good. See, a lot of people would push back against that. Like a lot of parents more than you would think.
I think it starts,
not being able to talk to their
starts
kids.
with the kids, like, for lack of better terms, making it cool to not have a phone. To be like, yeah, you guys all have a phone. I don't care. I don't need a phone. And then 2 or 3 more kids follow that kid. And then all of a sudden you have this, like, everybody's jumping on it because they see the fruits of not having a phone.
I think that would go everywhere.
Well, it's
like, not just schools. I think that if you went and if everybody was like, if you're on your phone all the time, you're a fucking nerd. People wouldn't get on their phones that much anymore. You want to do it, it's cool.
That's how you're supposed to handle new stuff like that. Like when they had laudanum for medicine back in like the early 1800s and all that. They were using it for headaches and all kinds of shit. And then they realized that there's all these negative benefits, that it's like a detriment, and that you're better off just having a headache. So people quit using it. Like, they didn't know it at the time when they first got it, and then you realize the consequences. You identify them, and then you make a decision as an adult, and you say, I'm either going to use this or I'm not. Well, with social media, we have clear evidence that it's causing a problem, and it's going to be just like that, or like smoking, where the kids are going to have to make it uncool to want to do that. Otherwise, because if they think that it's going to make them popular or whatever, they're going to be out of the loop without having a phone. They're not going to do that. That's a whole kid's livelihood, is being like liked by their peers.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, it's ingrained in every person that you, like, from a young age, like, you're trying to look for a group to be accepted.
Don't want to be the black sheep. Nobody does.
Dope. Yeah, man, we had the best fucking times as kids were being outside, no electronics whatsoever. Now, we did have some fun on the PS3s. Don't get me wrong. We did have some
only
times.
When it was like we were completely worn out from playing.
It was dark.
Or it was dark, yeah.
And that, dude, there would be nights, summer days where we didn't have baseball, at least, where Dawson would come and knock on my window at 8 a.m. Hey, man, you want to go outside and play? And then we fucking run outside, play all day. And then as soon as the sun goes down, we fucking draft MLB teams and then stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. We were on kid benders.
We were. We had a great childhood.
Really did. We really were like the street light kids. Like, we just, whenever the light came off, that's when you go back in.
For those of you that don't know us, if you've seen the movie Sandlot, our childhood was a lot like Sandlot. Like, we just kind of like played outside all the time.
Like, even dude, it was so cool. Just because once we got good at sports too, like, all the neighbors would watch us play. Like, they would come outside.
All the adults, they would sit out on their pool deck. And, like,
dude, I thought I was Giancarlo Stanton, dude. The way I was pimping dingers, and they were like, "You got a hold of that one from across the fucking fence." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I feel amazing." And that dude, you hear Kyle across the street just sitting like the fucking wreck down on the damn fence, and then I would hum one in. They'd be like, "You really hum that one in there?" Dude, it was the best. And then we broke bones out there. We play tackle football in the heat of winter. It was like the whole ground's frozen. You're just decking each other. Oh, man. Do you remember the time that fucking Dylan, so Alex was over and everything. Tennis was like in its infancy. And Dylan hit a pop-up. Kitty was just starting to walk around. She was outside. He hit that bitch a mile high. And it just came down and twinked her right on the top of the head. Dude, that shit was so funny. Oh, dude. No, the clunks, dude, where nobody will understand, like, their sense of humor. Dude, I have some of my favorite, like, funny memories with those motherfuckers.
The clunks are the twins that
we were our like best friends in the neighborhood were twins. Yeah, and
and they were his age. I was younger than everybody, but I was
hanging with big dogs.
I was a pretty good athlete. I was hanging in there.
Dude, there was oh man. They fucking you weren't there for this, but there my favorite clunks memory is so we were in the middle of lunch and Dylan got the last chocolate muffin. You know the coveted chocolate muffins at lunchtime. We had the a la cartes. And so if you have money in your bank account and there were chocolate muffins, and bitches are gone. They would fly off the shelves. And Dylan got the last one. So Dawson came up and smacked him like with a banana. Just like while he's eating the muffin, just slaps him with a banana. Dylan takes his banana, flings and hits it right Dawson right in the nuts. And so they just start duking it out. Me and Alex are like sitting there egging it on. You're like, you're gonna let him throw a banana at your nuts like that? Like just hollering shit out from the and then we're watching it happen. So we have both of our backs turned and we just hear Ross big ass former ex NFL, he was just a training camp body, but had one nut and had he had catcher's mitts for hands. He would shake everybody's hands every morning when we'd walk in. And
his nuts stepped on.
Yeah. Oof. Cleat in the nuts. That's a shit retirement. Oof.
Should have been wearing a cup there.
Right in the berries. But I just hear him walk like fee fi fo fumming up, and he just goes, "Hey!" I'm just like, "Oh fuck!" Buttholes puckered big time. We were just like, we thought it was one of them that said it. We were like, "Holy shit, who said that?" But oh man, they would fight every fucking time. They like every single day they would fist fight.
It's hilarious. Like, imagine two people that do not know how to fight.
And then the same person.
Just like extremely pissed off at each other, trying to hurt one another, but neither of them know how to hurt one another.
Like, fuck you, Dylan. You're such a fucking faggot. Like, just
Absolutely hilarious.
they would throw shit at each other. Oh, dude, one of my favorites is they were like videoing each other shooting a basketball, and Dylan missed it, and Dawson said some shit to him, and Dylan just kicks the fuck out of the basketball, smokes the phone. Then the phone's like on the ground where you can't see them. You just hear them like screaming at each other, fighting in the driveway. No, off camera, dude. It's hilarious. Oh, they were fucking. And then we just terrorized their stepdad on the regular every weekend.
Yeah, not proud of that, but it was funny at the
Proud
time.
of it? What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, sure, but dude, it was hilarious. It was so funny. Oh, he had just no idea. And they would grill us every time. Like, hey, man, were you guys fucking with Donnie again? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. We got fucked with, too. There's people knocking on our door, too. Oh, dude. Now Donnie is out of his mind.
Yeah.
Old Donald.
Isn't he transgender now
Yeah.
and on drugs?
I think he lives in a meth house now. Pretty sure. How time is 10?
Have to pray for him.
It's a little bit more than that. I mean, oh, he needs some like real, like physical help. Like get him off some drugs. Get him some psychiatric work because he's been out of his mind since the day I met him. First night I stayed a night over there. Oh, well, I ain't got. I won't get into that. But yeah, I don't know. We had the coolest fucking friends growing up. The whole neighborhood, we would get together and fucking do backyard pick'ems. So the way the fucking neighborhood set up was we had a house behind us that would watch us, but then the house right to the left, they were alcoholics. Like, they would party every single day. So they would have just a whole group of people, and by like the end of the afternoon, everybody's sloshed and they think they're watching the World Series. Dude, it was awesome. I was doing bat flips, fucking pointing at the crowd. Like, I was for you.
Speaking of the World Series, the Cardinals freaking
They
stink.
ain't sniffing it for a minute. They suck dick.
That was another thing. We got a World Series right in the peak of our childhood.
That was our family was never stronger. Household was truly united.
Yeah, times are good.
Economy was good.
Gas
Childhood was
under
good.
$3. The Cardinals were winning the World Series.
David Freese, the savior. Oh man, where's his statue? How does this man not have a statue at Busch Stadium at?
I don't know, but if you're ever in a bad mood, there's
Don't want
two,
some Game
there's-
6 highlights.
There's two options: Game 6 highlights for the Cardinals, or you listen to the Dark Side of the Moon album. Either of those will put you in a good mood.
I could think of a couple more to throw on that list. Hardest hits in the NFL. That video's classic.
That's a good one. Tavon Austin highlights.
Oh, the West Virginia Tavon Austin clip. Oh, hell and back as the track. Shit was electric.
Man, fast.
Never
Rams
panned
win.
out. Well, he was good when he first came in. They just couldn't get him the ball. He would only, every single time he touched the ball on kick return, it felt like it was a touchdown.
I brought St. Louis back a football team on Madden.
I saw that. I saw that.
Gave him the St. Louis Shamrocks.
I turned on the TV and it popped up. I was like, you moved the Broncos to St. Louis?
F the Broncos.
I had a dream the other night about, I know this is going to sound so gay if I never end up doing it, but I had a dream that I did my first special at the Blues Arena. Like, I forget, it was an Enterprise Center, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
But I walked out to fucking Nelly Batter Up and fucking was wearing a Torrey Holt St. Louis Rams jersey. That's all I remember from it. It was just walking out, like seeing the beginning of that special in my dream. I was like, damn, that was cool as fuck. That would be so sick. I need to do that.
Well, you're a long way from Kansas, buddy.
Yeah, no. You got about 10 years. 10 years. That's how long they say it takes to fucking have an hour. Usually it's a decade.
I don't doubt it.
It's, I mean, because it is like an art. You think like something's funny until you have to like perform it. And performing is way, way different. Like even doing it twice, I can tell you that.
Sure. Shit
But
ain't easy.
this shit,
Like, there's probably less than 200 famous comedians in the entire world. It's like one of the rarest occupations you could possibly have.
but goddamn, dude, it was like intoxicating getting off the stage. Like it was like I genuinely like felt high. Like made sure I wasn't high beforehand because I would have just been anxiety level 10. The Green Goblin would have been talking. But afterwards, no, I just felt like $1 million, even if it wasn't that good. Like it was just really cool to do it. It was fun. That was like post baseball game energy. I just had a good day on the bump, like type. But yeah, just go keep riding that wave. Keep.
That's all you can do, really.
Hopefully the quiet on the set joke works tonight. I think I got some good shit on it, but we'll see. It's a sore spot right now. That shit was. I don't recommend watching it. Like like it will fuck you up. Like it'll make you feel uneasy. Like
I'm good. I'd way rather watch The Chosen.
yeah,
Way
I don't
rather.
know. If you can handle stuff like that, then it is something that everybody should be aware of that this happens. I mean, quite literally, you build the Golden Corral for pedophiles because, like, what other place are you gonna have free access? You're coaching them. You're around them constantly. You're able to like dangle new shows, fame, money, all this shit to like dude, it's fucked up.
I can't
Like they
say
should
I'm
just
surprised. For over 20
blow
years
it up.
now, people have been saying that that's going on in Hollywood. It's not like some shock that like, oh, well, there's a pedophile ring in Hollywood. Like, change the record. We've been hearing that for 20 years and nobody's doing anything about it.
True.
Like,
Blow
I'm
it
not even
up.
surprised even a little bit that would be the case.
Where it got me thinking was the Drake Bell smear campaign that came before that. Like a year before this all hits the waves, that everybody's able to hear this shit. They threw all these hit pieces out on him to try to discredit him, to try to make him seem. So if he does ever come out with this, it's always like, well, what you did the same thing. So like nobody would take you for what you're saying, but got it all thrown out in court.
Yeah.
And then he came out with this, and then it's like, fucking A. These guys are literal demons, bro. Like, I don't know how you fuck with somebody that much.
That's what happens when you worship things other than God. You worship money or you worship power or anything like that.
I think these are legit Satanists.
Well, they might be, but
'Cause you
don't
have to sell
start
your
there.
soul to
You
get to
don't
that
start
point.
there. Nobody starts out thinking, "Oh, I want to be an evil force against this world." No, nobody thinks that. Everybody thinks they're doing the right thing, but they fall into traps. So, like, if you worship money all the time, then all you care about is money and power. Then all it takes is for somebody to pay you a certain amount of money and make you do some heinous shit, and then you'll do it because you don't answer to God, you answer to money.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why we're in the position we're in, is because people think that it's crazier to worship God than it is to worship money. And that's not the case.
I think it goes to a certain degree of to be a pedophile at that level, and these people that are so fucked up, like not even just pedophiles, just fucked up sexual people, they have this innate ability to go find and achieve power. They go and get it. Like they get to a certain position where they have the freedom, the power, and the resources to go do
Yeah,
whatever fucked up fantasy they
goes
have.
back to the saying that a rich man going to heaven will be like a camel going through the eye of a needle. Those people get so rich and so powerful so quickly because they don't have the morals that hold them up on that path. They start out on that path, and most people will try to start out on that path, and then one or two things happen where they're like, I am not going to sacrifice my morals to get this done. Where those people, they don't care. They don't have morals. So they're like, do it. Fire this person. Fuck them. Let me get my money. Like,
that's basically what
they don't have enough morals to slow that journey down. They just fly right through it because they can sacrifice all of their morals because what they worship is money. That's why you see those evil people at the top of the world.
But it's fucked up, and I told you the one of the most fucked up things from that was, imagine like you finally get this dude to court, and then you look around and see 50 people, some of the most powerful people you've ever seen, backing up the dude that did horrendous fucking things to you. So it's all a clique circle. They all link up, and they know each other. They all have dirt on each other, and they fucking help each other. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, that's where, I don't know. I think the corruption comes in the same way of, like, not just humanistic temptation, but, like, almost like how the devil's in the woods trying to convince Jesus to get off the path, like that kind of thing, where it's these fucked up individuals who already are corrupted by whatever evil fucked up shit that they do, and then they conform and get all these other people to follow that, and they'll help them, they'll protect them, they'll give them even more fame, even more power, all this shit, and then it just keeps getting pushed on. It's a more powerful group than ever now because they're all like that.
We live in a world where first is last and last is worst.
Last is worst.
Where last is first. I mean,
I was like, yeah, what's
first
wrong with
is
that?
Last and last is first. Yeah, that.
But yeah, no, it's fucked. Nothing was, oh, dude. Whenever I got to basically fucking pull the curtain back on my black barber before I left our hometown, that was such a fun experience. He had no idea about Epstein, had no idea about like Hollywood, no idea about like all the fucked up shit that happens in the world, and like he was like, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. He was like, did he? Like, Jay-Z was in it? I showed him like the whole list. Like, he was like, how the hell you know all this? Like, I was like, dude, it's all online. He goes, how does anybody not know about this shit? I was like, dude.
I don't know. Because
that was awesome.
I think that's like one of the saddest things. It's like the black community, they want what's best for them, but they just, like, keep getting constantly tricked by the Democratic Party. Like, that's literally been the party that has oppressed them their entire existence, and they're tricked into voting for them. And like the Democrats will say stuff like, "Oh, Lyndon B. Johnson, he's the one that signed the Civil Rights Act. He's the one that gave you all these rights, and he was a Democrat." Well, do you know what one of his most famous quotes is?
I know quite a few.
I will get these N-words to vote for Democrats for over 200 years when I sign this bill.
Rip. Yikes.
And that's like their person that they point to and go, oh, well, he cared about you guys. He wanted you to that civil rights
Good
act.
Lord.
Those N-words will end up voting for Democrats for 200 years after I sign this bill. He was one of the most racist presidents we had. And what party was he? Democrat. It's insane. Like,
I don't know. Right now, they're
don't
fucking
listen
over
to
everybody.
either of the two parties, but listen to the people that actually want the best for you and aren't trying to brainwash you.
RFK for president, please destroy the two-party system. It sucks.
Yeah,
Get
it's
rid of it.
horrible. We don't even really have a choice. We have the illusion of choice.
It is the age-old giant douche turd sandwich. We're getting volume 2 right this year.
It's a fake choice. They come up with their 2 candidates and then they go vote. And then like you either pick one of their guys or one of their guys. That's how it goes.
Well, if you don't pick our guy here, you're gonna be picking our other.
Yeah, it's rigged deck.
I know some shit about to hit the fan this year. It's just bound to happen. It happens every 4 years, and everybody falls for it every fucking time. Everybody's like, well, no, this is a serious issue. Why are you even looking at it like it's political? It's not this, it's not that. I'm like, no shit, it is. We all know it is. It happens every 4 years. Nobody else thinks about it like that. Like, I know, I'm telling you, April 8th, I've seen this date a bunch of times. Something weird is going to happen this day.
It's a sign. It's a sign to repent.
I wonder what it's going to be. I don't know. Luckily, we get to go see the shaman 3 days before everything hits the fan. God, please don't give us another pandemic. I don't want another one. That was shitty. That sucked ass.
Whatever happens, we shall prevail.
I mean, yeah, but fuck. That, like, the people, we're all still, like, recovering from that. Like, I watching baseball highlights the other day, and I see the stadium empty, like, from 2020 highlights. I'm like, good God, dude. I can't believe that's how everybody lived for 2 years. Golly, dude. It fucking... Never want to see that shit ever again.
Cowards, dude. Cowards.
Couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do nothing. And then they force everyone to do their way out. Everybody get vaccinated, let's go away. And they didn't.
Where we at? We got like 7 minutes left.
What else we want to end on?
In the theme of Good Friday today.
Easter. This week.
So when Jesus was crucified and then his last breath, it said he breathed out, or he breathed his last, and then there was an earthquake that shook the whole land and tore the curtain of the temple from top to bottom. Like it said it was like a massive earthquake that split rocks and everything, and then we found like artifacts in that area of like rocks that are completely like split down the middle and all.
Where
Here I'll show you the picture I found. It's being debated though on if it's from that or if it's from when Moses split the rock.
See, that's where my brain went. I was like, Jesus did that? I thought fucking Moses did that. But, I don't know. I think the next big thing, I swear, is going to be that solar flare. It's going to black out everything.
So this is the Raka Harab. This is the one they think is from Moses.
Yeah.
And it's like perfectly split. Looks like you took a diamond tip table saw and you just cut that rock in half.
Right.
And then this is the one that they're claiming is in Jerusalem. And it's literally split perfectly down the middle.
But, whew. I mean,
and it also
cut it with scissors.
The language it uses describes an eclipse that day. Funny enough, it says that the sky was darkened until about 3 p.m. on the day that he was crucified.
The fuck?
So there must have been like a huge eclipse that went on that morning.
How is that documented?
Like eyewitness testimony. People that were there claiming that the sky was dark that whole day. It could have been talking about overcast, though.
See, that's what I was kind of thinking. Because that's got to be documented a certain way for it to be an eclipse. An eclipse is kind of a momentary thing.
Well, yeah, that and like as far as the clips go, you can backtrack because they run on a schedule. So you could go back in history all the way to that claimed date and see if there really was an eclipse.
Right. I feel like that would be talked about more if that were the case.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
But
maybe it was just overcast. But
I could definitely see an earthquake fucking some shit up. I don't know. It's something, bro. I'm telling you, something's happening. It's going to be either a natural disaster, it can be a huge political thing, like a 9/11 type thing, or fucking a solar flare, which that's what I'm leaning towards. I think something's coming to black everything out, which I would not be mad about at this point. I would not be mad at no technology.
Wouldn't change much for me, I don't feel like.
See, I don't know.
Read more.
I don't know what that looks like physically, a solar flare. I wonder what that would that actually fuck anything up?
Yes.
Like just
They did have a massive solar flare that they weren't lying about. Yes, it would actually fuck everything up. Be like the whole world getting hit by an EMP.
Yeah, but I'm saying like physically would it burn anything up?
Electromagnetic energy that gets thrust into our atmosphere. So if that really did happen, our technology would stop working, at least for an extended period of time.
So hypothetically, they could just do that and then blame it on a solar flare.
Yes. Will there be an actual solar flare? Maybe, maybe not, but it's definitely something they could use to just blame a blackout on.
I think it's coming, bro.
But be weary and listen to scientists that are not controlled by mainstream media. And if enough of them are saying that there was not actually a solar flare, you best listen.
Yeah. Don't want to get duped.
Yeah. You can't just go off of the scientists that the media's handpicked to tell the information. They're not going to pick somebody who's saying contrary to the narrative, so you need to go search for that on your own. Best place for that would be X, probably.
Definitely.
X or Reddit.
Nah, Reddit's fucked.
Reddit's a little meh, though.
Reddit can get wishy-washy real quick.
Yeah. All right, well, we can wrap it up here.
Where we at?
We're at about 47 minutes. 47 or 46. We started 2 minutes before 1. Yeah, we did. We're at 43. Oh, really?
On the dot.
Thought we started before 1.
You need to watch War Mode.
Don't know who that is.
That's Billion Spuds pod. That dude, it's climbing the rankings for good reason. Finally, it's starting to get the attention that it deserves. I mean, obviously Shane's gave it a bump, but that pod is legit. Like you want to know real conspiracy theories that they dig into? Watch War Mode.
Well, it's not necessarily that I care about conspiracy theories. I just seek the truth.
That's what that is.
Well,
And they talk a lot about like biblical stuff too, like a ton. And I don't know. A lot of people hated their second to last one. They talked about like all of like a bunch of history in Ireland and shit about like what people had to live through, like a lot of the slavery and shit they experienced. Like it was a lot of like interviews from that, like because I guess Spud went over and traveled a lot over in Europe to get some info for the pod. I think, as from what I've understood, but that pod is good, really fucking good. They don't post a whole lot, but when they do, this shit hits.
Yeah.
Yep, check it out.
I just might.
But, well, we can wrap it up here. I'm going to take me a nippy nap before fucking getting on the road to Tampa for a show. Hopefully I don't bomb.
Yeah, hopefully you don't bomb. Peace out.
hoping that at least some of my lines hit, but we'll see. Still learning, still getting better.